Coming up on City Spotlight, we are talking about Casey. In the first segment, we'll talk with the mayor of Casey, Nik Groothuis, and Casey Economic Development Director, Bailey Maulding, about the latest going on with the big things in Casey. Plus, the latest economic development and public works in Casey. Then we'll head out to the 32nd annual Casey Popcorn Festival and talk with one of the co-founders of the Casey Popcorn Festival, Bailey Maulding. Today, it's all about Casey here on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. Hello and welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. We're back in the studio for this new episode here on Casey, and we welcome to the program the mayor of Casey, Nik Groothuis. Nik,
thanks.
Great
nice
to have you
to
back
be
on.
Here.
Excellent. And first time to the program, Bailey Maulding. She's the Casey Economic Development Director. Bailey, welcome to the program.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Great to have Casey on here on the program. We'll have a little segment later on over at the 32nd Casey Popcorn Festival. We talked with Bailey Maulding there. We are taping here on September 11th, and there's lots of things going on in Casey right now, mainly the big things, and we're going to start with the big things.
Sure.
First, on August 20th, so there was some measuring being done in Casey to measure the, current and new big things. Tell us about that day and maybe what are some of the newest big things that you have in town?
Sure. So on the 20th, we started in Marshall. The gavel was placed last year, but we haven't actually measured it yet. So we had our measuring ceremony at the gavel in Marshall, and then we came to Casey and did the swizzle spoon and the golf driver. So those were all fast-tracked. So we did all of our own measurements for that, documented everything, and then hopefully we'll get the certificates for those on the 28th.
Okay. So you have a driver, you have the tee, all you need is a golf ball, right?
Yes.
So this is obviously not the first time that this has happened for Casey. Obviously, a number of things are already the world's biggest. So we have video from that day that our audience at home can check out right now. What is that day like when they come to measure the big things?
Well, the last time they came and did the measurements, the things were already in place. They were where they were going to be, and the measurements, of course, had to be documented just as they were this time. And the official measurements then were identified and certified by Guinness at that time. And Mr. Bolin received the certification certificates right then. And as Bailey said, I think that Mr. Bolin will receive those that they just documented when they come on the 28th. Right. But then there will be some, again, official measuring done of the, and help me, Bailey, if I forget them.
Sure.
The teeter-totter, which is currently in place. It's been in place and operating for about a month now.
Unbelievable structure. I saw it coming back from the Casey Popcorn Festival. That is absolutely outstanding.
It's pretty fun to watch people walking up and looking around, and it's
take
kind
their
of neat.
dogs, everything. You see all kinds of things.
Exactly.
My kids will be running up sooner or later.
Yeah. And the barber pole isn't in place yet. I don't know, it may be by the time we get back.
Right.
You know, they're keep saying it's going to be going up soon, obviously before the 28th. And then there's a big key that's going to be in place, and it'll be about a block off of Main Street, but again, easy to get to at a former location of a repair shop, a car repair shop. So those are the three new things. I don't believe there's anything else that's going to be measured at that time.
Okay. I'm not going to bother to ask you unless you know off the top of your head how many just general big things, because you have several big things that are not world's biggest, that are just kind of around town, but you guys are well into the double digits for sure.
We have 8 world's largest right now. Okay. So then hopefully we'll add the new ones, and then yes, we have several big things like the bird cage, the pencil. We have
Spinning top.
the spinning top,
Yes.
yep, that are just placed around town. So
That bird cage, that's something else as well. So for audience at home, we're taping here on September 11th. We just talked about what happened on August 20th, so we got a lot of dates here. We hope to be out there September 28th for the revealing. We won't have that information for this episode because this is airing in the first part of August, so tune in where you need to, KZ webpage or whatnot for the results of that. So
Yeah,
best of luck on that.
yeah, we'll have everything on our Facebook page.
Okay, very good. Also going on the September 28th, you have the first big Saturday of fall. Tell us what that's about.
So our store started doing this last year. Last year was actually the first big Saturday of fall. And they just all have like an open house type. They'll decorate all their stores for fall. Everybody has a special deal going on. Usually they'll have refreshments. But it's just a good time. And all of our stores are excited at this point. Everybody's, so excited to decorate for fall. You have to get your pumpkins out and all of that. So it's just a great time to support your local stores.
And with new things, Nick, and the big things, and everybody getting excited to decorate their stores, I'm sure it's just an overflow of energy, everybody working together to make KZ look as good as possible.
Yeah, that's, I think, part of the deal with having a big open house to start fall. Get everybody out and about. It's always a fun time. It seems like when fall starts to roll around, the heat starts to go away a little bit. There's hopefully a little nip in the air, and everybody gets a little excited. And last year it was a great time downtown. Good crowds in and out of the stores, up and down the streets. It's a social event as well. And so the measuring of the new world's largest will just add to that excitement and fun, I think.
Okay, September 28th. We hope to be out there and have some video of not only the announcement of the world's biggest. Hopefully that happens, and obviously first big Saturday. So very good there. September 28th, the big date in KZ. Let's talk about economic development. You have some new stores, and let's start with Wildflower.
Yeah, so we had a new bakery open up. We unfortunately lost a bakery last year, so we were all very excited to see a new one open up, and she's been doing great. She's located inside the Olive Tree Marketplace.
Okay.
She has fresh cupcakes, donuts. She just started apple turnovers, so a great variety that she switches out monthly.
Okay. Next one we have here, the Traveling Mug.
Yeah, so she is next to the KZ Candy Depot. She has a drive-through, so that's great for locals especially. And she does a variety of different coffees and teas.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
And the last one I have here, let's see if I can pronounce this correctly, Tetzel Prime.
Yeah,
Okay, got that one.
it actually just opened last week. They're doing gourmet pretzels. They don't have set hours yet, so it's kind of a day-by-day thing right now. But yeah, they have gourmet pepperoni pretzels, jalapeno pretzels, just a
Sugar, cinnamon, yeah,
yes.
don't forget that one. That one's good.
So not plain pretzels.
No.
Well, they do have the salted pretzels too, but they're big. They're the big pretzels, and they're tasty.
Big, the big things.
Yes,
so there you
exactly.
go. And also you said you have one in progress, kind of in the works, the KZ Coffee Company.
Yeah, they started construction probably 2 months ago now, so we're excited to see them open soon.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Nick, obviously new economic development in town. It's very important for a community to have multiple new things, trying to get things going.
Exactly. And Bailey does a good job of trying to stay on top of that. Sometimes we still get surprised by what's occurring, what's happening. And when we do find out there's something new going on, we reach out to them and try to get as much information and offer what help we can. There are some local grants available to our businesses as well, so we try to keep the businesses informed of that too. So it is very important to us, and it's just been a crazy boom for us, with the addition of all these new downtown businesses.
Bailey, I forgot to ask you at the very beginning because you're a first-time guest, but I think we'll try and sneak that question in at the very end. You've been on the job here in KZ a little over a year, so I'll ask you at the end of our segment there about that. Tell us about the Kroger Corner. What is that?
Sure. We had a building that we tore down actually last September, and it had a Kroger mural on the side, and So that's kind of stuck, obviously, between Fashion Lane and Kroger Corner, is how everybody knows the building. So we've just stuck with the name of the Kroger Corner. So now it's an empty lot, and we are hoping in the next month or so to start developing that.
Okay.
And it's going to be a pocket park type thing, and we're excited to get the community involved. Hopefully have some items that you would be able to donate to somebody in memory of, or something to that effect. We're not sure on all the specifics yet, but we are working for that. We received a $25,000 grant from America in Bloom to assist us with that project. So they will help us with all of the greenery that will be on the lot. So hopefully more to come on that soon.
All right, very good. So stay tuned to that. You just mentioned a grant. You have a list of grants here, a water line grant, a drainage grant, abandoned housing grant. Tell us about all these grants that you have going for you.
Sure. So obviously infrastructure is a huge concern in any small community. We're fortunate enough this year that we've gotten a ton of money to come in to assist us with these. So we'll do a water line grant. It was a $500,000 grant, so that will assist us tremendously. We have a drainage grant that is out on West Main, where we have a lot of standing water. So that will help with all of those areas around the railroad tracks on West Main Street. That was a $75,000 grant.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we got $20,000 to assist with abandoned homes in town. So we can use those to demo the houses that have been abandoned, or just with blight around town.
Okay, very good. I'm going to kind of change the order here on our next question here. I see something about a new city hall purchase.
Yeah,
Tell us about that, please.
that was kind of exciting. The Regions Bank building had been vacant for several years, had been listed at a very high price. Nice building, and probably rightfully so was the price for the listing. But it's basically a whole city block, short of one corner. And they just listed it again, kind of all of a sudden. It showed up as a listing along with a lot of other Regions properties to be auctioned. And so the council decided, sure, if we can get it for a relatively inexpensive price, let's bid on it and see what happens. And well, long story short, we did. We got the bid, and hopefully we'll be moving later this fall from our current location to this Regions Bank building. It's a big building. It will suit us very well to do what we need to do in there.
If I think I remember correctly where it is in Casey, for our folks at home, where will you be located soon?
Yeah, it's actually 105 West Alabama is the official address.
Got it.
But it's actually, the parking lots and everything are on Main Street. It's just off of First Street on the west side of Central.
Okay.
So
very good.
We'll still be close to everything.
Put you on the spot there. A lot of streets there.
No, I just had to think in my mind.
Next to the birdcage, across from Dollars and Cents.
Yes, there we go.
Very good. Coming up here in our next segment, we'll talk with Bernie Morgan of the Casey Popcorn Festival and Fairview Park. You have just so much that goes on there activity-wise.
Yes.
Quickly, give us a kind of a summary of some of the events you had that went on over the summer.
Actually had an intern from Eastern that was with us all summer. So he was a great asset. He helped with the music in the park. John Crouch put a great summer series together for us. We had movies in the park put on by CIA. We did a couple just random games. He would take a kickball down to the park and play with kids. We had a couple tours from Charleston that came. So we had just a lot of activities going on at all times. The horseshoe pits are always a big hit, especially when we can get the state tournament in town. So a lot of fun things going on. We have disc golf down there now too. Yeah,
I experienced my first horseshoe at the Casey Popcorn Festival, and the things I heard from a gentleman, I have to repeat it because I said it in the interview with Bernie Morgan. The gentleman said, "I'm doing so bad I have to get this score just to finish last." So those horseshoe guys came from all kinds of places to be there. So very good. Quickly, a comment about the Casey Popcorn Festival. Nick, 32 years. We talked with Bernie Morgan, who's one of 3 co-founders. A great long-standing tradition there in Casey.
Yeah, it's something that the whole town looks forward to. it seems like after the 4th of July, then that's the talking point, is the popcorn festival and what vendors are going to be there, and if we're going to have a carnival, and I mean the whole thing, and who's going to be the premier acts,
Yes.
in the evenings. So it's one of those things that it is the fall activity for Casey.
Excellent. We'll have plenty of images in Bernie Morgan's interview coming up in our next segment. Bailey, I typically ask off the bat because things got switched around.
Yes.
You've been on the job here in Casey a little over a year now, August
Yes.
of 2018. Tell us what you've enjoyed about working in this community for the past year.
Before I started working with this city, I worked with Casey Industries. They are an organization that tries to bring business to town, helps with the big things. So before I accepted this position, I was already deeply involved in the community. So my husband has a couple businesses in town, so it's just it's a community that's near and dear to my heart, and obviously excited to see that grow and all the new things coming.
Right. So new big things, new economic development, new city hall, lots of exciting things going on in Casey. We thank the time of the Mayor of Casey, Nik Groothuis, and Bailey Maulding, Casey Economic Development Director. It's been a pleasure having you guys on City Spotlight.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. And coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll head out to the 32nd Annual Casey Popcorn Festival, talk with one of the co-founders, Bernie Morgan. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Casey. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this new episode on Casey. As you can see, we've left the studios, and our backdrop for this second segment is the 32nd Annual Casey Popcorn Festival. To help us out in this segment, we welcome first time to the program, one of the co-founders of the Casey Popcorn Festival, Bernie Morgan. Bernie, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you, Ramin. It's a pleasure to be on WEIU Spotlight.
Thank you very much. And Bernie is not unfamiliar to the WEIU TV airwaves. Bernie was a storyteller and contributor to the Casey This Is Our Story program, so we're glad to have you back on WEIU. You're a first-time guest on this program, and before we talk about the Popcorn Festival, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, please?
Well, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, but I guess my main title, Ramin, would be I'm the promoter of the festival.
Okay, very good, fair enough. This is the 32nd Casey Popcorn Festival. You're one of 3 gentlemen that helped get it started. Tell our audience at home a little bit about the history and how it got going 30 plus years ago.
32 years ago, John McDaniel, Rube Howe, and myself saw, actually to begin in the beginning, a local radio station promoted a hot air balloon meet on Labor Day weekend. And we saw the large number of people that would come in the morning to the launches as well as in the evening. And we thought it'd be nice if we had something for those people to do during the middle of the day between the launches. And that's how the festival began.
Okay, very good. You mentioned the names of the 2 other co-founders. One of them, the gentleman, passed away this last year, just before the start of last year's. Talk about his contributions and what he would think about this festival 32 years long.
Well, co-founder Rube Howe was the secret of the popcorn. I mean, the popcorn tasted good because of Rube. I mean, Rube worked at a farm that grew popcorn at the time and kind of knew the business in and out. He knew what kind of oil to pop it in and helped with the acquisition of poppers and basically the popcorn aspect of the festival rode on Rube's shoulders.
I asked you about the questions I was going to ask you beforehand, and ask you how has this evolved through the years? I think you told me that it really hasn't changed too much in 32 years.
Not a lot. It's still basically I look at it as a variety show. It's kind of I kind of look at it as Ed Sullivan. You got Topo Gigio over here and the Beatles over here and the guy that spins the plates. It's a variety show of entertainment.
Excellent. Behind us, we have the Horseshoe Tournament, the Illinois State Horseshoe Tournament. Charles Cook Courts is the official name of the area. They're tossing horseshoes as we speak, so we hear the music and the horseshoes clanging. This is the 8th time it's been held here. Talk about its history and being a part of this event here in Casey.
Well, it definitely brings a lot of extra people to the festival. and as competitors and also as visitors to the festival. They eat food, they buy gas, they have fun, and they like coming here.
Heard some of the lingo this morning, some video that we're showing of the horseshoers in early competition. They'll be competing throughout all 4 days of the festival. Some of the lingo, and I think one gentleman said, I think I need to get a certain score just to finish last. So that was a funny little nugget of horseshoers talking to each other.
You know, Ramin, I might add that the horseshoe aspect of the state horseshoe tournament, at least in Casey, rests and basically is successful through the efforts of one man, and that is Wayne Davis. He's 80 years old. He maintains the courts during the off season. He's a pitcher himself. He loves to pitch horseshoes. He started pitching in the 50s when he was a boy with his father, and having the state tournament in Casey is all because of the efforts of Wayne Davis.
Wayne Davis is here. He was also a storyteller, talking about the horseshoe tournaments here in Casey. And the Casey, this is our story program. You also have a car show that'll be happening. We're taping here on the first full day of the Casey Popcorn Festival, August 31st, for those folks at home. And on Sunday, the second full day, you guys have a car show. You guys also have lots of music, as you can hear in the background. The band is performing. You have some aerial performers, circus act out of Cincinnati. You just have a whole lot going on. Like you said, it's very much a variety show.
It definitely is. The car show on Sunday starts at noon. Competitors are allowed to register from 8 till noon. We'll have, on average, 150 cars. One year we had over 170. It's, to my knowledge, the biggest car show in the Wabash Valley.
Wow.
One year we had the Batmobile, and
wow.
and just, you'll see anything and everything here. And definitely the...
Did Batman show up with the Batmobile?
No, I just think Robin came. But anyway, the car show's a lot of fun. It brings back a lot of memories. It's one of my favorite parts of the festival.
Excellent. It's a 4-day festival. You told me beforehand it wasn't always a 4-day festival, but it's evolved to 4 days. It starts on a Friday, ends on Labor Day Monday, correct?
Right. The main activities actually begin on Saturday. We're actually a 3-day festival, but we have music on the night before. So
Correct.
Maybe it is a 4-day festival, but we do stretch out over the Labor Day weekend. Full slate of activities on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We close at 6, and we invite everybody out in the WEIU land to come see us Labor Day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Okay. This segment is airing. We're airing this in the first part of October, so a little bit after folks have been to the festival, but we're glad to be here covering each community's local festivals. Certainly the Popcorn Festival, a big part of what Casey is. So my question for you now, Bernie, is what does this festival mean to the city of Casey?
Well, the economic impact to me is secondary. I think the most important thing to me is if you live away, it's a reason to come home. It's a reason to celebrate small town life. Festival is all about family, and it's just all about meeting and being and enjoying each other.
Very good. You're a native of Casey?
I moved in 40 years ago.
40 years ago, okay. So you've been in the community a long time. You're one of, as we mentioned, 3 co-founders of this festival. What are you most proud of this festival over 30 years?
The family aspect. I see young parents that first came as babies to their first festival, and they're back with their families, and we grow the activities to meet the new generation so we don't stay stuck in a rut, and just the family atmosphere and the positivity that we add to the community.
Should have mentioned all the way at the very beginning, and free popcorn. Lots of it.
We'll pop 1,000 pounds and eat it free all weekend.
All right. Very good. Bernie Morgan, co-founder of the Casey Popcorn Festival. We appreciate your time here on City Spotlight, Bernie. Thank you very much.
Hey, Ramin, thanks. And I know this will air after the festival. Come next year to the festival. We're always Labor Day weekend. And in the meantime, come see the big things in Casey, Illinois.
Yes, we've talked about that quite a bit in the first segment of our program. So lots going on in Casey with the big things and the 32nd Casey Popcorn Festival. We thank you all for watching this latest edition of City Spotlight on Casey. We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to City Spotlight. You can check out past episodes, including the one you're watching right now, on YouTube. To check out recent episodes of Central Illinois towns featured on City Spotlight, search on YouTube, City Spotlight, with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the last 5 episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.